Abernethy Forest, just by Lochgarten. We're here today with a volunteer group doing some dam building. We often find that bogs and peatlands don't get as much attention and maybe engagement as other landscapes. So it's really nice to get people enthused and excited about bogs. So this part of the forest has been drained historically by owners before the RSPB owned this land. Notches on either side of the ditch. We're going to be building some composite dams. We're going to be using locally cut timber and then infilling them with peat from around the area here. But we really want to try and allow water to come back onto the land to add diversity to the forest structure, to the ecology, to the opportunities for lots of species that we find here, and also to add to fire resilience as well. To the forest, because that's also a problem that we have around the loch here in particular.
Wet, boggy ground historically was seen as unproductive land. People were draining them to create timber plantations, to grow trees that could be a useful timber product. Outlooks change, and now we realise the importance of these bogs, both as a carbon sink, to protect the carbon that's locked up in that peat, stop it being emitted into the atmosphere and causing global warming, but also because of the amazing biodiversity value of our bogs and our bog woodlands.
So this is one of our largest bog woodlands on Abernethy Nature Reserve. This is a really beautiful part of the forest mosaic where the forest starts to open up and more bog vegetation starts to dominate. I used to always think that the forest was really like the same across the whole reserve. Like I used to just cycle along the paths and walk along the trails, and just from that perspective it just looked like all pine and all the same sort of forest. But actually when you start getting into the woodland, you really see the diversity in the habitat, and it's so important to provide different habitats and niches for all these different species that we have left here. It's been really great to have a lovely group of people out here enjoying getting stuck in the mud and getting involved with the work that we're doing here.
So there's been 3, and I did the first one and this one. I already think it's a spectacular place, so I'm hoping what I'm doing is making it an even more spectacular place. Any more?
As a kid, as an adult, have used this as a holiday destination. So this is my way of doing a wee bit back. So as a child, you come on a holiday here, you love it, you go skiing, you're in the water, whatever, and there's no responsibility. Whereas as you're older, you feel you've got a responsibility to look after that so that other people can do that.
Meet people that, you know, same kind of mindset, like the kind of same kind of stuff. Yeah, it's nice to have that kind of hub where those kind of people are, because otherwise it can be quite difficult to find people that have the same mindset, the same interests. So yeah, it's nice to be able to find those kind of people.
Yeah, it's a nice sunny Wednesday afternoon and I'm not at work. You feel like you're putting something out, like a tiny little bit in something that's bigger than you are. Yeah.
I think the more that people can get the actual feel for how the work can happen, the more they can really appreciate what goes into the restoration efforts that we do. And it means that they're part of the process as well. Like often people are just walking by or passing through the landscape, so to actually have a part of that restoration process is so much more of a connection for them to hold. and they'll know that they can come back in the future and see that they've been part of that process.